Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks pregame podcast. I'm Jay Zawaski with Greg Boysen. Hawks and Coyotes tonight in the desert, 9 p.m. puck drop. It's late, but it could be later.
It has been later.
It has been later. You're right about that. This is a game we've been looking forward to for a long time. We get to see two of the top rookies in hockey in Connor Bedard and Logan Cooley face off for the first time. But Greg, for me, this is another one of these like measuring stick games as to where are the Blackhawks. They had it against Montreal and they absolutely sucked. Hopefully they have a better game tonight. And we can see now that they're not playing an undefeated Stanley Cup contender, how they measure up. And this is a game I expect the Hawks to win. And I think they should expect to win this game too.
Well, especially with how you finished that game in Vegas. You're coming off a comeback win, your second multi-goal comeback win of the season. Tied for most in the NHL. You took an undefeated Vegas team, and I don't want to say dominated them, but you were the better team for sure. 50 of the 60-plus minutes.
Agree.
You got to build off of that. And on the flip side, the Coyotes are coming off a game that they choked away a victory.
Yeah, two tough losses in a row to L.A.
So kick them while they're down.
Sure.
Do not let them up in this fight. Jump on them early and get them going up. Here we go again. You're right. This is another one of those games like Montreal. We finally get a reprieve in the schedule. We've been screaming for reprieves. We get one tonight before 5 straight against Florida, Tampa, and New Jersey. But this is a game you got to win if you want to. It's so weird saying that about the Blackhawks too, since we've been on the air. But, you know, this is a team you should beat, or you're at least in the same league with. You're not in the same league at Vegas and Colorado and most of the teams you've played so far, but you're in the same league with the Coyotes. They're a little ahead of you as far as their young talent. They've got more of their young talent up here than we do, but I still think you're right there with them. So that's a tough building to play in. Coyotes have had a lot of success in their little baby rink.
Bullet magic, they call it.
And so it's not going to be an easy game. No, there is no easy games on this 82-game schedule. Arvid Soderblom's starting. He's going to be fresh. He's had a week off, a little over a week off. So we'll see how that goes. But, yeah, it's, the heated CHGO PHNX rivalry gets its first of 3 tilts tonight. Should be fun.
Yeah, they hate the Hawks more than we hate them.
Because we matter.
Well, you said it, not me.
And I'm not saying that to be a jagoff, but
that's true. It's true. They play in a 5,000-seat arena.
Yeah,
and it's fine for them.
Yeah, they've been they can't get their own city to turn a toxic waste dump into an arena, but by all means,
toxic waste dump. Let's be straight.
Apparently, it's an invaluable toxic waste dump,
historical landmark.
But let's hate let's hate on the Blackhawks. That's fine. I mean, it's kind of like back when the Wild and the Blackhawks were playing each other in the playoffs during the Cup runs.
Yeah.
All the Wild fans were like, "Oh my God, I hate the Blackhawks." We were like, "Oh, these cute little fellas!
That's adorable.
Again. Try harder next time. Maybe you'll get 2 wins in the series instead of just 1."
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? It'd be great if these two teams could be good at the same time. They're as we get 3-4 years down the road. If the Coyotes still exist, they should be.
They'll be a franchise. I just don't know where.
Yeah, they should be right there with the Hawks in terms of prospects, everything. So. If it's not a rivalry yet, it's not. It could be very, very soon. We're going to give you the lineups on the other side, but want to remind everybody, please smash that like button for us. Make sure you like our YouTube page, subscribe to it. Same deal on your favorite podcast app. Subscribe, leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Here are the Blackhawks lines for this game. Connor Bedard, The world's best prospect, don't let anyone tell you otherwise, is centering Nick Foligno and Philip Kurashev. Excited to see that line in action. Your second line is Lucas Reichel centering Jason Dickinson and Taylor Radish. So Dickinson playing left wing in this one. Ryan Donato centering Tyler Johnson and Corey Perry. And your fourth line, Mackenzie Entwistle centering Andreas Athanasiou, who draws back into the lineup, and Reese Johnson on the right side. Defensive pairs, Kevin Korchinski and Seth Jones. Isaac Phillips makes his season debut, partner with Connor Murphy. And your third pair, Wyatt Kaiser and Jared Tenorti with Arvid Soderblom in goal. Thoughts on the roster?
I don't know what you can expect from Lucas Reichel with Taylor Radish and Jake Dickinson on his wings.
That's a very fair point.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of people have been like, we need him to score. We need him to score. But he's not had very good line mates so far this year.
Yeah.
Seems that anytime someone does good with him, they put him up with Bedard. And I know the talk have turned into yells, not quite screams, but loud voices about getting Lucas Reichel on that top line with Bedard. I'm not against it at this point, but I'm also not ready to completely scrap him at center. I just would like to see him at center with some real talent. And I'm not disparaging, Taylor Radish and Jason Dickinson are both nice, fine role players, but they're not guys that a guy like Lucas Reichel can use to create offense.
You're right.
And so you're not really putting him in a position to succeed with that line. Maybe, you put Athanasiou up there. I mean, Luke Richardson had some interesting things about Athanasiou. He was scratched the last game, and he expanded on what he meant by he's got to see more. And he was saying, you got to use your speed, but not just to skate yourself into trouble.
Right.
And basically the same thing we've been saying for the last 3 games.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
He just, don't take on 4 guys at once. Be smart. Use your speed more, purposefully than just, I can skate down the ice fast enough. Oh, crap, I got nowhere to go.
We've seen it so many times this year where it looks like something's going to happen. He stick handles and just kind of skates into no man's land. And the D is like, all right, what are you going to do now? And there's no play for him there. Use your speed to create chaos on the forecheck. Use your speed to, when your defense gets the puck, if Kevin Korchinski or Seth Jones, one of your puck-moving defensemen, has the puck, head the other way and get ready for a stretch pass. That's what it means. It doesn't mean just skate as fast as you can all the time. And that seems to be what he's trying to do this year. I was listening to the 32 Thoughts podcast, as I do every time it publishes. And
second best podcast out there.
I agree. And Jeff Merrick said something along the lines of, when you have a guy who is benched, give them the chance to prove you wrong the next game, right? Give them extra ice time. Give them double shifts. Give them the opportunity to prove you wrong. And I know while Athanasiou is starting this game on the fourth line, we are going to see him with Reichel at some point. There's going to be some line mixing. And when he gets those opportunities, I want him to take advantage of them. Look, there were a lot of people that when he was scratched against Vegas said, what are we doing? We struggle to score here, and we're taking out the guy who led us in goals last year. We can't be doing this. But the result in the game you needed against Vegas worked out very nicely, right? Luke Richardson did a good job of saying, all right, I'm going to need a little more grit in this game, and I'm going to have to rely on my top guys to put the puck in the net, which they did. Now you've got more of a speed team than a checking team in Arizona, and Athanasiou's back in. And when he gets that opportunity on a top 6 or top 9, or even if he stays in the fourth line, be a factor. Be a guy that makes a difference. And maybe he just thought, hey, 2-year deal, leading scorer last year, I'm good. I'm golden. They're not going to take me out. And sometimes guys have to get that message that, hey, you're no different than anybody else here. You have to perform. You have to create, and you got to make the most of your time here. And hopefully he got that message, and we'll answer the bell tonight. Defensive pairs. I'm glad Phillips is in. I'm glad he's with Murphy. That's, with Vlasic out, Murphy is your most reliable defender. And I think, I think it's an easy way to ease Phillips in. We talked about this a lot coming into this year where Isaac Phillips knows this is going to be his last chance to earn a spot on this team. I don't mean this particular call-up. I mean this season, because you've got Allen, you've got Del Mastro, you've got all these left-handed defensemen that are better prospects than you, that project to have a higher career. He needs to take this opportunity and grab it. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do in this game.
Yeah, I am too. I'm big Isaac Phillip fans. He's just such a good kid. He's easy to root for, and he's a really good player. We've barely seen what he's capable of doing at the NHL level. He's been very effective early on offensively for the Ice Hogs. He's got a couple points on the power play already. I don't think he's going to see power play time tonight.
I wouldn't think so.
But it's nice. He's off to a good start. He's getting rewarded. In case you missed it, since we didn't have a show yesterday, Alex Vlasic came back home. He's in concussion protocol. So who knows with the concussions? On one hand, you could be like, okay, that's probably better than a separated shoulder or broken collarbone or something like that, but you don't know.
They're all different.
Right. Everybody reacts differently to concussions. I don't know if Vlasic has a concussion history. I mean, it's safe to assume if you're a hockey player, you have a concussion history.
Yeah, probably.
Whether diagnosed or undiagnosed. So, it just, that whole situation, we talked about it a lot in our post game after the Vegas victory. How just upsetting that whole situation was, because he's been their best defensive defenseman all season. And then to have him get injured on a BS hit that didn't need to happen, a blindside hit, no penalty call, nobody sticks up for him. That whole situation is just, it's not great. So Phillips, next man up, get your shot, get in there. You're playing with Connor Murphy. You got the veteran next to you, so you can be a little. But he's done it before. He's played up here before. So once he gets that first shift under his belt, he should be fine and just be like, hey, it's another hockey game.
Brandon says, personally, I rate Phillips over Kaiser currently. We haven't seen him play an NHL game this year, but we saw him last year, and there are some things that Wyatt Kaiser does that he can't.
Right.
But let's make pretend, and this is Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. I'm putting Phillips in over Kaiser.
I am too.
I just have more trust in him. Now, Kaiser's ceiling is way higher. I think his offensive game ceiling at least is way higher. But in terms of trust at this moment, I have more trust in Phillips and Kaiser at this point.
Defensively, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Kaiser's a better skater. Kaiser's got a little bit more offensive upside. Kaiser, the thing that has impressed me most about Kaiser, it's his he's got that swagger.
Yeah.
He's got some confidence about him. Like
he knows he's good.
And he walks into the locker room like he knows he belongs. He doesn't seem to when he does make mistakes, and he's made quite a few early this season, he doesn't seem to let it bother him. Kind of just lets it roll off his back and gets ready for the next shift. There have been moments that he's looked overwhelmed out there. I know a lot of people are going to quick to say, well, he's paired with Jared Tenorti. Well, Jared Tenorti isn't the one telling him to blind pass it to the middle of the ice.
Right.
So
neither is Luke Richardson, by the way.
Right. So, there are some things that you can attribute to his pair, his defensive partner, and then there's other things you can attribute to a young defenseman that's making mistakes. But I think, I think if I needed win one game, and I needed to pick a better defensive defenseman, I'm going to go with Isaac Phillips. So I hope he gets in there, and I hope this is a stretch where he gets to play in the AHL for a long time.
I hope so. And maybe he, if he plays well enough, maybe Wyatt Kaiser's the one that goes back to Rockford when Alex Vlasic
I still think
back.
Kaiser needs not a long period, but I still think he needs some AHL time. I think he needs some time. I think in the long run, I think it would be more beneficial for Wyatt Kaiser to play 6 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, half a season as the number 1 defenseman in Rockford, as opposed to the number 6 defenseman in Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. We'll see. I'm hoping Phillips does well and forces a tough decision for Luke Richardson and company. Let's get to the main event of this game. It is Connor Bedard versus Logan Cooley. And I think that I can speak for Greg on this when I say there's a lot of franchises and fan bases around hockey that have good rookie players that just want to hate Connor Bedard and just want to prove that he's overhyped and whatever. I welcome all these good young players, man. I'm excited to watch Logan Cooley. I hope Logan Cooley is great.
Not tonight, but yes.
Yeah.
Overall,
I hope
yes.
all these young players turn out to be
too.
great. It's good for the game. And while Logan Cooley hasn't scored yet, he's got 6 assists in 7 games compared to 3 goals and 2 assists in 8 games for Connor Bedard. He looks like an NHL stud. He is going to be an NHL stud. He scored an amazing goal in the preseason. Was that in Australia, right? Against the Kings? Yeah, where he just kind of went end to end. Very reminiscent of that first goal, or one of the first goals Jonathan Toews scored in his career, that one against Colorado that we still see highlights of. Logan Cooley, he is a stud player, and he's going to be for a long time. I'm really looking forward to this matchup. And, yeah, Cooley's got the advantage in stats so far, 6 points to 5 and 1 fewer game. But he hasn't played the Vegas Golden Knights twice, and the Boston Bruins twice, and the Maple Leafs and the Penguins, whatever they might be this year.
And he's got Clayton Keller on his line.
That's helpful too.
That helps you get 6 assists in 7 games.
I would say so.
That's a very good duo right there. And I mean, you would think the world's greatest prospect would have had a goal by now, but
you're jinxing it.
Yeah, bring it on. And it's the influx of young talent this season and what's coming over the next couple of years is great. You've got Bedard, you've got Cooley, you've got Adam Fantilli, who's off to a good start for the Blue Jackets. You've got Leo Carlson. When he plays, he's been really good. So weird. Pat Verbeek is weird.
Yes, he is.
He's very weird.
A little ball of hate. A little whack of hate.
A little ball of what the F are you doing, man? You've got a lot of great young talent coming in. Luke Hughes is in his first full season. He's been really good. Just keeps passing it to his brother. That's how you get points.
Hey, I would do the same thing.
So you got a lot of great young talent. And it makes it exciting that all around the league you're seeing the next generation of stars. The league is in good hands. You've transitioned well from the Crosby Ovechkin era. They're still playing, but they're definitely on the back nine of their career. And you transitioned from those two to McDavid and Matthews.
Right.
And now McDavid and Matthews are kind of in their primes. They haven't hit their peak yet, I don't think, but they're getting close to the peak. So when they get to the other side of that peak, boom, now you've got Bedard and Cooley and Fantilli and Carlson. All these young guys now, they're going to be just about ready to hit their peak.
Yep.
So it's so good for the game. And, I don't get I do and I don't get the solicited Bedard hate. I get you hate the Blackhawks, but don't hate, the kid for who he got drafted by. He's a great talent. And
good kid, too.
He's going to, like it or not, he's going to help the salary cap go up over these next few years. You may not like it, but you know what? The Blackhawks' deep playoff runs are much better for the league than, the Coyotes making the playoffs and selling 3,500 playoff tickets.
I would agree with that. Yes, he is much better for the league. But again, it's I just want to see this league be good. I want to see this league have success, and he is a reason. Bedard, Cooley, all these young guys are going to be great for the league, so we should not crap on them. Sure, when they face up against each other, bragging rights, that's all fine and good.
Yeah,
but there's no reason to hate any prospect.
I think that's so much more on the Coyote side.
It is.
I don't know how many Blackhawk fans are like, oh, I can't wait to beat that Logan Cooley.
I think it's specifically CHGO Blackhawks fans,
right? Because they've heard our pals at PHNX,
yes.
And their jealousy,
their butthurtedness,
their jealousy. I mean, yes, having Logan Cooley is great. Having Logan Cooley and Connor Bedard would be fan-freaking-tastic, but you guys screwed it up. You guys went and...
Too good.
Your front office decided it was more important to get matching suits than lose games down the stretch. So don't be mad at us that you can't tank right.
It's not our fault. Exactly.
So, and we kid in good nature. I know we get people come in our chats and tattle on the PHNX crew all the time, but we are big fans of Leah and PD and Craig too.
To a lesser extent.
We like those guys, so that's why we can have some fun with them.
Absolutely. All right, got a few minutes left. Let's do Who's Your Hawk here. Let's get right to it. You had the first pick as you are trailing so far the standings. Mario with 5 wins. I have 2. Greg has 1. By the way, Mario under the weather day. He's fine. He'll be back Wednesday for sure. So no worries there. But who do you got? Big surprise here.
Yeah, I got first pick. Last time I had first pick, and I didn't go with Connor Bedard. And then I said, well, every time someone picks him, he doesn't score. But I don't care. I need a win. I need a win. I'm hurting here. I need to get my act together quickly, or I'm going to be the Chicago White Sox of this race. Wow. And I'm going to be out of it before the season is even in full effect.
But at least you didn't have any expectations.
I did have expectations.
Well, you look great in the preseason.
I did.
You're the Tyson Bagent of Who's Your Hawk.
I only need one win to tie you there, Chief.
Hey, I'm not bragging either. Hey, you know what, though? In fairness, I looked like shit in the preseason, too. I'm going with Nick Foligno. I just love the way he's been playing. I like the way things look with Reichel and him. I see Bedard and Kurashev scoring tonight. So I'm getting 2 assists for Foligno. Hopefully that helps me out a little bit. And then Mario, our leader, is going to go with Reichel. So, hey, if you're waiting for Reichel to break out, Mario's got 5 wins to our combined 3. So maybe that's a good sign for Lucas Reichel. So I'm hoping to see that too. If Mario's right, I think everyone is happy with this game. By the way, our guy Jim Cook in the chat said, is the Bedard 3.5 shots bet still on? Yeah. It is not won in quite a while. I've been playing it every game.
I took it again tonight.
Tonight feels like a pretty safe bet.
I took it again tonight. I took that, and I took a same-game parlay. Connor Bedard, anytime goal scorer. He's been hot. I don't care what anybody says. He's got goals in 3 straight games. And I've got the Blackhawks to score first and the Blackhawks to win the first period.
I like it. Kevin says, so can we expect a Bedard hat trick? No. You should never expect a player to score 3 goals in a game. Would it be great if he did? Yes, but that should never be your expectation for a player.
Unless it's Alex Ovechkin chasing 800 against the Blackhawks.
Yes, exactly.
And that's already happened.
So here's one thing I want to see in this game is we talk more about the game itself than the players individually. I want to see a 5-on-5 shift where the Hawks have extended zone time. I don't know if we've seen that all year long. They played good against Vegas. They played good against Pittsburgh, Toronto. They've had some good games, but we've not seen those shifts where they've got the puck and they've got control and they've got the other team on their heels for an extended period of time. This game presents a really nice opportunity to do that, and I want to see what it looks like. I want to see what this team looks like in full puck movement, at full strength, 5-on-5. I want to see them take it to the Coyotes a few times in this game. And we could probably expect at certain points the Coyotes will do the same to the Hawks. But I want to see this. I want to see a good minute and a half of offensive zone time for the Hawks in a single shift.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. And I want to see a freaking power play goal.
That would be great.
Why is
by
it
the Hawks,
so
by
hard?
the way.
Yes. Why is it so difficult to just... And here's a good way to maybe get one of those. And I love the guy. Stop passing to Corey Perry on the power play.
Yeah.
Stop. He's there for net front presence. Let the shots hit off him or get the rebound. Stop passing it to him. Yeah. Every time you do that, not so good things happen immediately after that.
Yeah, he's okay. He's in close, but it's usually corralling something that came to him, as opposed to like a cross slot one. It's not Patrick Sharp. It's not Artemi Panarin.
Right.
That's Corey Perry. Like, let him get his greasy goals.
He's there to take away the eyes of the goalie and clean up a rebound. He's not there to kind of dish the puck to from the side of the net.
Exactly.
Just stop doing that.
And slash a nutsack from now and again.
Please.
I mean, that's what you're here for. Freaking do it. I'm kind of got it's all we got, right? I think we're pretty good. We're close to game time here.
Yeah, we didn't have any video today. So
any
really
super chats we need to get to?
No
or
super
anything?
Chats unless someone wants to get one in right now.
Wow, all right.
Super chats.
All right, yeah. We're gonna wrap the thing up early. We'll be back as soon as the game ends. We'll be here for you as we always are. Let's hope the Hawks can get 2 points here in Arizona because the schedule does not get any easier after this one. Bedard, Cooley, round 1 coming up next. We'll talk to you after the game on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.